Much was made of Dan Quinn's departure from the Dallas Cowboys and where that left Micah Parsons. After multiple years together, the two had a really close bond. That was magnified when Dallas signed stickler Mike Zimmer as the new defensive coordinator. After Zimmer signed, it was revealed that he and Micah didn't talk too much in the ensuing weeks, which, of course, cued the collective panic. But now, after training camp has come and gone, along with Dallas' first game, a curb-stomping of the Cleveland Browns, Parsons has revealed what his and Zimmer's relationship is like. "He might text me about his horses, so I think that means we're getting close," Parsons said. "I think we're about to buy a horse together." So he has a funny way of building connections. He kind of builds connections in his own way, and I think that's what separates him. He's definitely different, and he's not a man of many words. If you get some words out of him, you know that's a good sign. The revelation that Micah and Zimmer were going to buy a racehorse together signals that the pair is closer than originally thought. Now, attention goes to what the horse will be named. "He's going to name him Parsons," Micah added with a big smile. "So when y'all see me at a Kentucky Derby with my hat on, y'all know what time it is." Zimmer's defense has gotten rave reviews after rendering the Browns' offense rudderless in a brutal showing, and while Mike has a reputation for being a disciplinarian and a stickler for the fundamentals, it appears he does have a soft spot under that rugged exterior. Not to mention a unique way of building connections. Given his team's unprecedented success and the Dallas Cowboys' struggles over the last 28 years, New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft is questioning why Jerry Jones is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And why he isn't. Kraft has 6 Super Bowl rings, but has never been seriously considered for enshrinement to Canton. Jones, who has 3 championships but none since the 1995 season, was inducted to the Hall of Fame in 2017. He hasn't been to the NFC title game in 2 decades, and he gets in? Kraft told a confidant, according to a new ESPN story. How does that work? In 2022, Kraft and Jones clashed in a meeting to approve a new contract for Commissioner Roger Goodell, with Jerry reportedly telling the Patriots boss, "Don't F*** with me." According to ESPN, the 12-person subcommittees determining the final HOF ballot hasn't never even forwarded Kraft's name to the full 50 selectors. Among Kraft's ownership accomplishments are the helping negotiate the end of the 2011 lockout and chairing the committee that recently negotiated $110 billion in TV rights. Jones has long been considered the league's best marketer, helping the blockbuster move to Fox in 1994 and leading the charge for teams to cut their own endorsement deals with giants such as Miller Lite, Pepsi, and Nike. Detractors of Kraft's candidacy point to the numerous scandals, including Patriots Spygate and Deflategate, and his own high-profile episode at a Florida massage parlor. According to ESPN, Spygate is the lock on Canton's door. Some voters believe he was part of the biggest cheating scandal in NFL history, a veteran Hall voter said. That's a very tough one to overcome. Since 2000, only 5 owners have been enshrined: Jones, the Pittsburgh Steelers' Dan Rooney, the Buffalo Bills' Ralph Wilson, the San Francisco 49ers' Eddie DeBartolo, and the Denver Broncos' Pat Bowlen. Among the many draft mistakes Atlanta Falcons GM Terry Fontenot should wish he could correct is selecting Kyle Pitts over Dallas Cowboys edge rusher Micah Parsons. Kyle Pitts had a great rookie season and could still prove to be a building block for the Atlanta offense. However, there is no arguing who the superior player is, and that Parsons is the impact defender Atlanta has been missing. With the recent extensions for the Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott and star receiver CeeDee Lamb, it is fair to wonder if Parsons could be on the move. Could the Atlanta Falcons have a chance to correct their mistake and land Parsons? Looking at the cap in Dallas and considering the players they are already paying, it is going to be difficult to extend Micah, but not impossible. Judging from recent comments made by Parsons and the Dallas Cowboys owner, it seems incredibly unlikely. Only Myles Garrett and T.J. Watt are in the same conversation as Micah Parsons. A trio of defensive players who elevate their teams and impact winning at the highest level. If the Atlanta defense were able to add Parsons to their current core, they would be a realistic NFC contender. Despite the offensive questions and the struggles in the secondary, adding Parsons completely changes the ceiling and perspective of the team. Unfortunately for the Falcons, this is an impossible dream for a player who understands the value of playing for the Cowboys and the money it translates into off the field. The last thing a team wants when they are an underdog in a road game is to enter the game banged up. Unfortunately, that's the reality for the New Orleans Saints as they prepare for their Week 2 matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. If the game wasn't challenging enough, on paper, the injuries New Orleans is dealing with sure makes things tougher. On Wednesday, the Saints released their first injury report of the week and 13 players were listed. Among those names were stars like Marshawn Lattimore and Tyrann Mathieu, and other key players like Talise Fuaga. Unfortunately for New Orleans, things have gotten worse with the updated injury report. The good news is Tyrann Mathieu and Lucas Patrick returned to practice in a limited capacity, and Foster Moreau was elevated to a full practice. The bad news is Marshawn Lattimore didn't practice, and neither did Talise Fuaga, despite the fact he had a limited practice on Wednesday. With the Dallas Cowboys being the opponent on Sunday, both Lattimore and Fuaga are desperately needed. Lattimore is needed in the secondary to cover CeeDee Lamb and the other weapons Dallas has, and Fuaga is needed to try to slow down Micah Parsons and the Cowboys' elite pass rush. Fuaga regressing from a limited practice to no practice is not good news. That makes it seem like his back issue has worsened, and that his status for Sunday's game might be in jeopardy. If he's unable to go, New Orleans will probably turn to Landon Young at left tackle. There's already concerns about how the Saints' offensive line will hold up against Dallas' pass rush. New Orleans definitely doesn't want to have its backups in the game. Marshawn Lattimore and Talise Fuaga are two players fans will be watching closely over the next couple of days. With one more practice on Friday, the Saints will set initial game statuses after practice. Hopefully these two will be available. Going from the Cowboys to the Falcons is unrealistic for a player of Micah's ability and stature. As fun as the fit might be to consider, it simply isn't a realistic possibility. For the Falcons to find a star pass rusher, they must utilize the draft or look to overpay an aging star at the position. Micah Parsons has zero chance of ever being an Atlanta Falcon.